Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon to everybody, and evening for those of y'all. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hopefully you guys are all having a good one and enjoying your day, keeping it positive, keeping it safe. We got some new information revolving around this particular situation, this missing persons situation of Naomi Irion. We've talked about it before. I've been talking about it for the past couple days. I don't know. Maybe I was like one of the first YouTuber channels to actually talk about this missing persons case. But there's been some more developing news, y'all. Some more information has sprung off. And I knew it. I'm going to cut the music. I knew it, y'all. I knew it that something was awry. Something was not right. I know some of y'all might be going, what are you talking about, Pascal? Well, I want to tell you guys here in a second. You see the comment, you see the title down below. So we are going to be talking about this because honestly, this is serious-ish, okay? But I called it. There is speculation that she might have known the person who took her, because now there's been new news where they have changed it to an abduction, from an abduction to a kidnapping, if I'm correct. So there's some really interesting new information that's starting to unfold, starting to come out, and all of that. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about here, okay? And we're not going to be here for a very long time, but we're going to be here for an informative time, okay? So do me a favor, before we get everything cracking and on and popping, do me a favor, hit that like button down below, hit it, crush it, make it scream out your dang name, and then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, it'd be really great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. And then also at the same damn time, can you please do me a solid and can you please share this feed? All right, share this. We got a new feature. I didn't even see this until just recently. Maybe you guys see it down below, but now you can actually clip out clips and then share that within social medias and all that stuff, so that there's a new feature down below underneath the video. It says clip, and now you can actually go and clip out pieces and then tweet it, or you know what I mean, and let people know, hey, this guy just talked about X, Y, and Z, so on and so forth. We've graduated, y'all. We made it, mama. We made it. So please use that, share the feed, or share a clip, or share the entire show. I don't care. All I want to do is get the word out there, get the story out there as best as I possibly can. Okay? So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share. And of course, you can join my Patreon, or you can hit that join button down below to help this channel. That'll really mean a lot. And check out my merch. I got a link down below. Check it out. Buy you some ish. Okay? Anyway, we got to get into this conversation. Man, there is so much going on. Infinite content real quick to answer your question on that. Maybe one day we will drop our own R&B album, 90s album. You know what I mean? Just a little nostalgia, all for fun and all for laughs. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Okay. But before we get into this conversation, please do me a favor and check out the video I did last night where I was covering the disappearance of Alexis Ware. If you guys can go and check that out as well, that would really mean a lot, because I got another missing person story that I'm going to be sharing, unless the story hasn't resolved itself by the time that I go live again. I want to make sure that I am able to tell these stories that are current, right? That are currently happening. So Alexis Ware, I just did that conversation last night. A beautiful Black woman that is missing right now as we speak. She just up and left, disappeared. Don't know where she is. I think there's a part of me that thinks that she just ran away, but there's a lot of people that are speculating a bunch of different things, right? And there's some weird stuff with root work and voodoo and witchcraft and all that stuff. It's a weird, crazy Charles Dickens story. So please do go check out that show. I did that last night, and I took the time to go through all the gritty details and just kind of give you guys an update on what's going on with that particular case. So please go check that out as well and share that feed as well, because we need to find Alexis Ware as well. She got kids out here wondering where she is. Shameless plug, had to get that out the way real quick because I know some people wanted to know if I had covered that story or not. So just so you know, okay? Go check out that Alexis Ware show. Anyway, we have got to get into this conversation. This is very, very new, but I called it. I called it, dag nabbit. Now, I had her sister, Tamara, on the show yesterday morning, and we're going to look at this video because I want to rehash the interview that I had with her from last night, or from yesterday. And the thing is here's the thing. I understand. I'm not throwing any shade at the sister at all, at Tamara. Not at all. But I did ask her something that I thought was very important, because somebody wrote in a comment on the first time I broke this story on this show. Somebody said that there was a story kind of floating around that Naomi may have been harassed at her workplace because of, I guess, a disgruntled boyfriend or something like that, or a date that she went on, right? So yesterday morning, I had Tamara Cartwright, her sister, on the show. She blessed us with her presence, came in, gave us a really great interview, right? And I asked her this question. Let's take a look. Yeah. So I got to ask, on a personal level, did she have a boyfriend or any significant other? Was she dating at all?
I don't think that I'm allowed to release any of that information.
Let me roll that back one more time for all y'all in the nosebleed seats real quick. I asked straight up. I'm going to continue. Hold on. Yeah. So I got to ask, on a personal level, did she have a boyfriend or any significant other? Was she dating at all?
I don't think that I'm allowed to release any of that information.
Okay. Gotcha. Because I know that there's some people out here that are maybe saying she could have been targeted. There might have been a situation of maybe this particular person that obviously abducted her may have known her pattern and went and did this. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the police are exploring every possibility at this point. They're exploring the fact that it may be random. They're exploring the fact that it may be tied to her in any way. So, and I think that's all I can say about that.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Fair enough. So where were you when you found out? So I asked her I asked her twice, right? Because I'm hoping that maybe she'll be able to say, like creep out a little something. You know what I mean? Just a little something, understandably, she said, okay, the police are playing this close to the chest, so on and so
her
forth.
New life here in the United States.
Yeah. So I got to ask, on a personal level, did she have a boyfriend or any significant other? Was she dating at all?
I don't think that I'm allowed to release any of that information.
Fine. Totally fine. I understand you got to play a lot of these things close to the chest. I ain't mad at her about being vague about that, not giving me the information that I'm sure that everybody and their mama have been wanting to know. Like, he just went straight to the car and pushed her from the driver's side to the passenger side and took off in her car. And there's a lot of people that are speculating that maybe he knew her, maybe he didn't. Maybe she was a target. Maybe she was not, right? There's so many things that are ruminating around this, right? But she was on my show yesterday morning, Tamara Cartwright, her sister. God bless her. She was fantastic. And I can only imagine how worn out she was, because I mean, not only was she on my show, she was on Grizzly Crime's show, she was on a bunch of other shows, both mainstream media and on the internets and social media platforms as well, right? And shout out to the Grizzly Crime show as well. Great channel as well. You got to check her out. She's fantastic. And she was asking some really great questions in her interview with Tamara as well. Some questions I didn't even get a chance to ask, really. But that's why we have multiple platforms, right? Because somebody might ask a question that you don't get a chance to ask, and it's like, that was a good question she asked right there. I'm glad that question was asked. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, though, the answer came out as, I'm not at liberty to talk about this at this time. Literally. Okay? Not throwing any shade. Listen, I understand why. Because we got to, like I said before, law enforcement, I'm sure, and the family's probably playing a lot of things close to the chest. We got to look at mistakes that have been made in the past, i.e., Gabby Petito. I hate to use Gabby Petito all the damn time, but let's be real. The reason why that turned into an absolute circus, absolute cluster F, is because there was so much information being flung out to the public that everybody and their mama's just going, oh, every skinny white boy that's bald and has a beard is a prime suspect. And it turned into a circus. Remember, they said he's flying off to Spain. No, I saw him board a plane to Montreal. No, he's over here. He's in Mexico. Everybody and their mom was saying all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay? So, with that being said, I don't blame her for saying, I'm not at liberty to say such and such. That's fine. Now, Robert Simpson, thank you so much for saying this, because I did see that too, that she was on News Nation last night as well. And thank you to you guys and everybody else on the internets. You guys were able to push out this and get Brian Enton's, or at least News Nation's, attention enough for this to be a story on News Nation, right? So without the power of the internet, none of these things would be possible. Let's be real, okay? And this is the same thing we should be doing for Alexis Ware. We should be pushing this like crazy, because I have yet to see News Nation talk about Alexis Ware as well. And that story is a complete cornucopia of WTFs. I'm just going to be real. It's very confusing. There's a lot of moving parts, and there's a lot of speculations floating around, and it's getting messy. So I understand when it comes to other people like my channel and many other channels, when they come onto those channels, somebody like Tamara comes onto the channel, obviously I understand it's going to be like, we are playing this close to the chest, because you never know how messy it could get, number one. And number two, also, you never know if the dude is watching the shows and trying to find out what information they know about said suspect, so that he can adjust and move in a malleable way. You see what I'm saying? So I don't blame her for saying what she said on my show or on any other platform. They're playing a lot of things close to the chest. But I said it before, and I'll say it again. I said it earlier in this show. I'm going to say it again. I knew it. I knew it, that there was a possibility that the person that took this young woman may have known her. And you might be like, oh, what do you mean by that, Pascal? Well, let's take a look at this article right here. Exclusive. Missing Nevada teen Naomi Irion went on a date day before she was abducted from Walmart parking lot and was actually harassed. Harassed. I can't say the word, unfortunately, because, YouTube, and we want to get it out here as much as possible, okay? Harassed at work and was naively exploring freedom in the U.S. after she lived a sheltered upbringing with diplomat dad, family reveals. Now, this is the article. Let's see what the article says here. All right. They try to throw out some titles to make it seem salacious, so it makes you click on it. Let's see how sheltered she really was. Okay? So, missing Nevada teenager Naomi Irion went on a date with an unknown man the day before she vanished and had complained about being harassed at work, according to this article from Daily Mail. And that's what they have revealed, apparently. So Naomi, 18, has not been missing for 12 whole days as of the reporting or the posting of this article right here. She was abducted in her blue sedan from the Walmart parking lot in Findlay, Nevada at 5:25 a.m. on March 12th while she waited for the shuttle bus to take her to her job at a Panasonic factory in Reno, where she had complained about being harassed. Panasonic knew about the harassment and handled it, quote unquote, internally, according to Naomi's brother. Now, so the thing is, and let me just finish this next sentence here. The hooded kidnapper who took Naomi still remains unidentified. Now, let me just say this really quick. When they say Panasonic knew about the harassment and handled it internally, according to Naomi's brother, this is when I wonder, how was it treated? How did they handle it internally? What was done? Was this guy fired? Was this guy put on leave of some sort? Was he put on some sort of probation? Was he suspended for a few days? What happened when he was, quote unquote, handled in an internal fashion, right? So this says a lot. This makes you wonder. Because we already said before, and I mean, of course, this is all speculation. This is all just us ruminating with this idea that maybe, and we've already said it when we first talked about this story, that maybe he knew that Panasonic workers who commute into Reno for their job would be parking there, right? Or he knew she, of all people, Naomi, would be parking herself right there in that parking lot, waiting for the shuttle so she can go into the factory, into the Panasonic factory. Those are the two possibilities, or it just could have been random as hell. But I tell you this, I don't believe so. I really do feel in my heart of hearts, deep down in my loins, I feel it all the way down to my plums that this woman knew her kidnapper. That's what I feel. He walked around. It was almost like he was deliberately trying to find her. He didn't give a damn about the cars or anything else. And as soon as he found her, he sprung into action and then took off with her car. Then also you got to think about this too. What if she knew, like, why would she let any guy, just think about this for a second. Why would she let any random ass dude just walk up to the car? Let's keep it really honest here. Could it possibly be that she knew the guy? And as he's walking up to the door, she's like, "Oh, hi," kind of thing. This is a friend of mine, or a guy I went on a date with, or something of that sort. Maybe it wasn't as welcoming, but you know what I'm saying? She knows the guy. She sees the face, maybe. She recognizes the eyes. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, holy crap, I'm getting kidnapped. Like that. In one fell swoop. He's in the driver's seat of the car, driving her car. And she probably is going, I don't even know how this even happened. This happened so quickly. Now, I know that could be just some crazy theory, but what if she really knew the guy? What if? But let's continue here. So, of course, the hooded kidnapper is still unidentified. He remains still to this day unidentified. Her brother says he does not think it was someone that she knew. He doesn't think it was, he thinks it's random, but but had to have been someone who knew her morning routine. Now, for me, it's like, why would she be singled out of all people out of nowhere, being like, okay, I'm gonna keep watching for every single time she pulls up. She pulls up around this time. Let me clock it in 5:25 a.m. or between 5:15 and 5:30 a.m. every Monday through Friday. Okay, I see. I just don't see that. I feel like this person knew something. I mean, like I said, this is just my theory, right? This is just my theory. But why would this guy know to come out into the parking lot at that specific time, walk over to her car, and then take her and the car with him? That doesn't make sense to me. For someone to sit there and know her morning routine like that, that is some serious dedication on somebody you don't even know. I feel like there is some sort of personal connection, personal knowledge of this woman. May have crossed paths. She may have shook his hand and said hi to this particular kidnapper. She may not know him personally, but she knows enough. But he knows enough to sit there and watch her morning routine. She can't just be picked out of the litter of human beings on this planet to suddenly say, I'm going to target her out of nowhere. It just seems strange to me. That ain't working for me. I would love to have the brother on the show because I'd love to talk to him about that. Why he thinks that she didn't know him and that this was at random. I don't agree with that. I think that this is beyond random. This was calculated. This is what I think. Chilling surveillance footage from the parking lot shows an unidentified man approach her car, open the door of the driver's seat, and then say something to force Naomi to freeze and move over. The pair then drive off or drive out of the lot with the man behind the wheel. Her abandoned car was found less than a mile away on March 15th, but there was no sign of Naomi since then. Or there has been no sign of Naomi since then. Now, her distraught family has revealed to Daily Mail, of course, the article I'm reading right now, in an exclusive interview that she was exploring life as a free young American woman growing up in sheltered communities such as Russia, Germany, and South Africa as a result of her father's job in the State Department. Now, I know that we already talked about this before. I'm gonna show you a little bit of a clip of the family actually talking about this as well. But we did talk about this. My theory, this other part that I was thinking of is, could this be politically motivated? Is there something that the father's job inspired this person to abduct her, to kidnap her? What is the reason behind this? Was it only because of, let's just say, a disgruntled or upset guy that went on a date with her, or a guy that tried to harass her at work? Or is it more? Or is it deeply rooted because of her father's job? Which it sounds like he does some serious stuff. He's been in Russia, he's been in Germany, and then her family was recently stationed or are stationed in South Africa. The parents came up for a press briefing and they said, we flew into Nevada all the way from South Africa, over 30 hours of flight of travel just to get here so we can be here. But my family, we live in South Africa. Could there be something more to this than just a bad date or just HR handling an employee that was harassing her internally? Right? Like I said, we have to throw out those possibilities and those thoughts. So she moved to America last year to live with her older brother, Casey Valley. an Apple employee who served in the Navy as a nuclear machinist from 2009 to 2016. She lived to learn how to drive, or she wanted to learn how to drive, get a job, go on dates, and attend community college. Fernley, where she was living with her brother, is a safe area where the residents are stunned by what has happened. I agree. Now, remember, I talked to her sister, Tamara. I'm going to pull that back up because I did ask in the very beginning of this, just talking about the sister. I even said, why would she take a shuttle if she got a car, right? We got to get to that part real quick. Happened in the parking lot of Walmart. Situation that happened in the parking lot of Walmart. And I know that a lot of us are wondering, at least myself, she had her own vehicle. And I mean, this may be a dumb question. So bless me. Please grant me some grace here. But so where was she living? Like the area that she was living. Oh, I even commercialed myself. Let's do that again. Is it that far for her to maybe drive herself? Why was she taking a shuttle? Why was she parking there to take a shuttle to Panasonic? I feel like a lot of people are still wondering that question too.
Right. The house is only about a mile from the Walmart. And then the drive to Reno Sparks area is over 30 minutes. So, it's just a couple minutes versus 30 minutes, and that's a couple minutes of gas versus 30 minutes of gas. I mean, she just started working and gas is so expensive.
Gotcha.
And she also just started learning how to drive.
She was just starting to learn how to drive. Of course, we're sitting there going, why would she drive over to the parking lot and then take a shuttle to go to the thing? Because even myself, I mean, I would just literally go and just personally, I would just go and drive my ass there. I'm going to be real. I would do that myself, but I have many, 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 many years of driving experience. Now she just learned how to drive. She was just starting to create her own world of independence, right? Which is what they said right here, right? That she was wanting to learn how to drive, get a job, go on dates, be a single independent woman in America. Because she never had those experiences in the other countries that she stayed in. And I'm sure, let's be real, I'm sure her father was very, very paranoid given the fact that he worked for the State Department. He worked a U.S. government job. So I'm sure he held a tight leash on all of his kids. But now she's wanted to get out, be a woman, be 18, enjoy life, have responsibilities, and soak in that freedom, right? Unfortunately, it didn't work out in that right now. It took a turn for the worse. But here it is, though. The day before she vanished, Naomi went on a date with a man who has not been named in Reno. It's likely they met on a dating app, but her family did not know which one. She had accounts on Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble. So here it is, though. If she's on Tinder, Hinge, and Bumble, then you go and look up all that ish. I'm serious. You deep dive. Dive in, get in that ish. Get all the way in every single app that she ever used to try to find a date, or any of these guys that tried to holler. Hack into her accounts, and let's get down to the nitty gritty, because guarantee you, maybe this could lead us towards finding the man who took her. She really wanted to experience life in America, being an American kid. Most kids don't get to learn how to drive a car and go on dates and get some freedom, but the diplomatic community overseas, you can't have that. You can't learn how to drive a car. You can't really go on dates safely. I'm going to get to this video. I promise you. I'm just seeing if there's a continued quote. You have to be secure. And there's a lot of security that keeps us safe. She hadn't experienced life without that yet. She really wanted to explore herself as a free American young woman and what they liked and what that looked like for her. She was excited to move back to America. Her mother, Diana, told the Daily Mail on Tuesday after flying in from Nevada to Nevada from South Africa, where she lives with her husband and their 3 younger sons. Diana's husband, Naomi's father, Herve Irion, works for the Foreign Service and has held posts in Moscow, Frankfurt, and Pretoria. He is now in Nevada with his wife, Diana, and their 3 Ukrainian-born adopted sons to join the search for Naomi. Until this year, Naomi had never driven or gone on dates freely. I'm going to read this little piece right here, and then I'm going to go to the videos of the family talking here real quick. She was excited about having a car, a job in the Panasonic factory in Reno, where she was making friends. She moved to Fernley to live with her older brother, Casey Valley, and his long-term girlfriend, Nikki, last year after graduating from the American school in South Africa. Her plan was to use her brother's safe home as a launch pad for her own life, saving up enough money for her job at Panasonic to afford her own place and enrolling in community college. In the 6 months that she had worked there, she reported being sexually harassed to management. Casey said it was handled internally, but he did not elaborate. A spokesperson for Panasonic did not comment on the harassment claims, but told Daily Mail, "Our team is devastated about the disappearance of Naomi. We are cooperating with the proper authorities and working to support her family and coworkers during this time." So, on Friday, March 11th, the day before she went missing, Naomi returned from a date in Reno and went to bed early. She was getting up the next morning to drive to the Walmart parking lot at around 5:10 a.m., then catch a bus to work at 5:30 a.m. I saw her the night before. She had gone on a date on Friday afternoon. She was going to bed early because she had to work in the morning. During that date, they'd hung out in Reno and gone to thrift stores. She seemed fine. I'm not sure, and this is in parentheses, if they've been out before. I think it was a relatively new person. It was a man. They spent some time in Reno. I saw her afterwards. I have no reason to believe that person was involved. You never know. She definitely didn't talk to me about all that stuff, but my girlfriend, Nikki, and her were very close. They had girl talk. Casey, Naomi's brother, said to the Daily Mail. Again, this is the footage of the guy in a gray or black hoodie, and they say he's about 6 foot tall, right before he jumps into the driver's side of the car and tries to take over the car and takes over the car and abducts her, kidnaps Naomi Irion. Okay. So we are going to look at all this stuff here really quick, but I just wanted to get through the articles. Okay. Cause I want to show you guys the interview, because the interview I think is very important. So let's take a look at this right quick after these few messages. But like I said, guys, this is a strange one. I mean, the brother, Casey, he still does not believe. He doesn't believe that this happened, that this was a calculated occurrence or a calculated event. He doesn't think that the boy that she went on a date with is connected with this at all. Now, he could very well be right, but it doesn't hurt to turn over every rock, look into every nook and cranny you can think of. Because the last person that she went out and had a date with with some dude. Came back, went to bed. It was it was just a fine date. It was nothing big. They went to thrift stores. God knows if he was checking her out, see what her story was, hearing her stories, asking specific questions so that he knows her schedule. You never, ever know. And then next thing you know, she's taken like that. She vanishes. You don't think that there's maybe a connection? I mean, haven't we all seen the movie Taken with the Liam Neesons? Let's be real. Those two girls, real quick, before we go into these interviews, just so to look at this footage. These two girls fly in from from America to Europe. They're having a grand old time. One of them happens to be Liam Neeson's daughter. Bad idea, right? But as soon as they get off the plane, they're getting what's the word? Hit on. They're getting finessed by some random guy, right? Random French guy, and he's like, I do this, and then all of a sudden, he finds out where they live, where they're staying at, so on and so forth, and then they get, I don't know if you know who I am. I have a set of skills. I will find you, and I will kill you. That was the movie. You're telling me that this couldn't have happened here? That this young woman, saw a guy on any of those dating sites, thought that he was attractive, swiped left, right, up and down, however it's done, hit the like button, whatever it is, started a correspondence with this guy on a dating app, went on a date with him, and then as they were going and having a conversation, you don't think that they're talking about their lives and what they do for a living and how crazy their lives are and so on and so forth? And all he's doing is just locking all this information in his brain, filing it away. So he goes, okay, so she's most vulnerable at this time in the morning. She pulls up at this place. Oh, you go to the Walmart? Oh, you take the shuttle? Why do you take the shuttle, girl? That's crazy. Yeah, I just learned how to drive, blah, blah, blah. But I try to get there as soon as I can. I drive safely because I'm still brand new and it makes me really, really nervous. And the anxiety of driving on the highway is pretty intense. So I take the shuttle, and I also want to save a few bucks on gas. Oh, that's smart. That's really smart, man. That's really, really smart. Next thing you know, he already knows her morning routine. Boom. All he has to do is maybe call a dude to do the dirty work, and he gets thrown a couple shekels. Just saying. They should be looking into this dude. Taken, man. The movie Taken. Everyone just needs to rewatch Liam Neeson's Taken. Okay? Actually, watch any movie that Liam Neeson's is in after Taken, and you basically have Taken part 75s. Okay? Every movie. It might be him on ice, but it's still Taken. Okay, on ice. It could be a Western, but it's still Taken in a Western, just so you know. Okay? So anyway, if you watch that, you see how it's done. And this could very well be what happened here. Could very well be what happened here. But let's continue. Let's look at this interview, okay? I appreciate all y'all's patience. Please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Hit it down below. Send those likes past 100 likes, right the F now. It would really mean a lot to me, okay? And do not forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, let's go.
Naomi grew up very sheltered. Naomi grew up, with her father working for the government at different U.S. embassies across the world. I've only visited that type of environment, and to me, it felt very, very closed in, and she had everyone that she associated with was part of that community before she came here. And honestly, like I said, Friendly is a safe place to live. This isn't something that happens here. You know, if she thought that nothing like this could ever happen, she wasn't the only one.
We lived in Texas, in Houston, up through Naomi being 12. And around the time she turned 13, that's when my husband joined the State Department. And then we moved to Washington, D.C. for 5-6 months for training. And then we moved to Moscow, which was Naomi's #1 choice of our first post. She was excited at the chance to see Russia. She really wanted to experience life in America, being an American kid. You know, most kids in America, when they're in high school, they get to learn how to drive a car, and they get to go on dates, and they get some freedom to, you know, to move around. But in the diplomatic community overseas, you don't have that. You can't learn to drive a car. You can't really go on dates safely. And you have to be secure, and there's a lot of security, you know, that keeps us safe. And she hadn't experienced life without that yet. And she really wanted to explore herself as a free American young woman and what that looked like for her.
If we can just go back, you mentioned that the day before she went missing, she had been on a date in Reno.
Yep.
You know who she was on a date with?
Yeah, we know who it was. And yeah, law enforcement is, they know everybody that we know of, for sure.
Is this a person she had been out with before?
I'm not sure about that. I think it was a relatively new person, but it's definitely it's ongoing.
Mm-hmm. So you might not know this, where she met this person. Was it a man? Was it a woman?
It was a man, and they spent some time in Reno, but like I said, I saw her afterwards. I had no reason to believe that that person was necessarily involved. And we're not, I don't think right now, I don't think it was someone that she was personally involved with.
Okay.
Now, I get his theory. I get that. But you gotta explore every single possibility. Period. That's just what I think. He says, I don't think she personally knew him. I don't think maybe she didn't personally know the guy who abducted her, but maybe the person who called him out and told him about her schedule. There could be another person, a higher up. You see what I'm saying? I don't know any of the terms, right? I don't know the terms of like when someone gets abducted, and I don't want to sit there and try to downplay any person or talk ish on ill on any person that's dealing with this. But you know, there's the bait, right? There's the person that's getting thrown out there as the bait, and they're fishing around. They're trying to find that vulnerable person that's willing to maybe be a little bit more generous with their information. And I feel like that's exactly what happened with this young woman. That's my theory. Okay? That's my theory. Or at least that's a theory or an avenue I'm willing to go down. Because that person could easily, like I said, Liam Neeson's, all right? Taken. Perfect example. He was the bait, the guy that they first met right off when they got right off the plane. And he was very charming and charismatic, good-looking guy. He follows them to where they are. Oh, no, I'll help you with your bags, whatever it is. Okay, so they live here. Okay, guys. Hey, guys, I got two. You know, one blonde, one brunette, just so you know. Great-looking girls. Who's to say that bait, that date, okay, was the bait? And then he gathers all the information, and all he has to do is make a phone call or a text message. And then his hands are clean. He's not the one actually doing the abducting, but he's the one who gives out the information to the abductor so that they can do they're dirty. That's just my thoughts. Like I said, it's just an avenue, could be completely wrong, but it's an avenue they should definitely be walking down just in case. Comb through every single dating app that she had possibly had on her phone. You never know what they might uncover.
Because we've been in such close contact with law enforcement, and we have given them all of that. And I mean, it is definitely still possible, but all those people are known.
The police. Have you spoken to this man since Naomi went missing?
I haven't, but I know that he's known.
And do you know if she met him online on a dating app?
Yeah, she used dating apps. She used Tinder and Hinge and Bumble. Naomi.
Okay, hold on.
Grew up very sheltered.
I mean, he right off the bat says Naomi grew up very sheltered. Understandably, I understand that piece. I'm not going to sit here and throw shade on the family. I understand that. Your father's a diplomat. Your father, your father works for the U.S. government, and he's out here in other countries. You are a prime suspect. You are a prime a person to get kidnapped and used for ransom like that overseas. What's wild is this happened here on American soil. So it makes you wonder what's up. And again, I'll say this too. Again, they said that this was someone who was actually this was something that turned from an abduction to a kidnapping. This is what I'm hearing through the ether right now. So the question still remains: did somebody ask for a ransom? Did somebody issue a ransom? Did somebody say something? What happened? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I got a couple super chats I need to get before they all disappear. Lady Justice, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Liam Neeson, Pascal, Pascal Neeson. Yeah, I just have fun with his last name. Okay, but thank you, Liam Neeson. Thank you. Yes, in every movie he does nowadays, it's just Taken Part 73. Just saying. But Jacqueline Anderson, how you doing, sweetheart? Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Thank you so much for your support. Love seeing your name on the in the chat as well. Hello, Pascal. You have the best show. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I'm covering as many stories as I bloody can. Okay, I'm trying out here in these streets. It's hard, but I love what I do, and I'm just trying to cover as many of these stories. I'm gonna be real because some people get upset, but white and black and every color under the sun, because every last person that is missing here matters, period. And this story is just sad, very, very sad. And hopefully we can get this girl home to her family. Hopefully it's not, God forbid, I hope it's not too late. Real talk, I really hope it's not too late. Okay. So I think this is another piece of the interview. So we're going to look at that as well. And this is the family talking about the harassment at work that she was receiving at work. So hopefully they have more details about that, because I hate when they're just kind of like, well, we just heard about the thing and then nothing else happened. It's like, I want to hear more. I want to hear the gritty details, right? Because it could also be a disgruntled employee that got very upset and dropped a dime on her. Let's keep it real. That could also be the possibility here too. All right. So let's take a look at this one. Okay. Hit that like button, send it past 150. That would really mean a lot to me. But the family's finally talking about the things that we were speculating in the interview before, right? Where it was like, we heard she was on a date. We heard that there was an employee of some sort. Can you say anything about that? And of course, understandably, her sister at the time said, I'm not at liberty to say anything at this time, which either confirms or denies, right? But here we are. The truth is finally coming out. So let's see what the family says now about this harassment claim at the job.
I heard from Panasonic after we reached out to them on Monday, because I'm her on 314. I'm her emergency contact.
Yeah.
So on 314, I was able to verify with them that she was no call, no show.
So she never made it to work, and they didn't
She
go
never-
to look.
Yeah,
check.
she never made it to work. She never called them, and on Saturday and Sunday, the 12th and the 13th, and they didn't contact me. I contacted them, and they verified. We were able to verify because my father has access to her bank accounts, so we were able to verify that Saturday morning was the last transaction at that gas station at 5:03 a.m. People might have noticed, and I know from people that I've talked to, because I've talked to a lot of these people too,
Yeah.
that her being missing on Saturday and Sunday did not go unnoticed to them.
Okay.
And since Naomi had been communicative, everything most of the time, and of when she was going to take time off and stuff like that, the people that she normally talked to were definitely concerned, but they didn't necessarily know how to contact me or anything. That was that, and Panasonic does have that information and did have it at the time. And like I said, I was her emergency contact, and I was able to talk to them on Monday the 14th.
So, of course, this is all leading after when she just didn't show up to work, and they were just trying to make sure what the heck was going on. But hopefully they get straight into the harassment that was filed at work.
Right. And since then, you say that they've been cooperative and they've helped.
Yes, definitely.
Right. And they have no reason to believe, or maybe you can, I don't know if you can speak to this. Do they have any reason to believe that this could have been related to a workplace conflict?
Anything like that, that is known by Panasonic, that is known by people close to Naomi, has been relayed to law enforcement. I don't know if any of that is related to this. I personally, I can't see it myself, but there's, I mean, anytime you're in a workplace, there's people that you might not necessarily get along with. There's people
True.
that might, not treat you the right way and stuff
True.
like that. And these things do happen, and it's relatively common. And unfortunately, things like sexual harassment are more common than people like to talk about. But anything that's like that has definitely been communicated.
Did Naomi ever complain that she was being sexually harassed at work?
Good question.
I can't speak to that.
So frustrating, right? I wish that let's see what he says. Let's see what else he says here. But very frustrating that he can't just speak freely on this.
Sorry.
It's something that investigators are looking into, though?
Yes, and if you look online, there was at least one thing, but it's definitely all known by law enforcement at the highest levels. I heard from...
Okay. So the law enforcement, the Leos, the 5-0, the Popo, the one times, they know about this alleged filing of the S harassment at the workplace. So here it is. They should be most definitely be talking about this and saying, looking into this particular filing that came out. So the guy that she went on a date with, and the guy, possibly a guy, we don't know. It could be a woman too. You never know. But the person that was filed, that the harassment complaint was filed onto, they need to be doing their due diligence and investigating every single last one of them, because you just never know. And you also never know this, she could be very young. She might be, because of being young and naive, she did or said things that put her out there, that exposed her in a way. You never know. Some people sit there and go, oh, I can't wait, right? I can't wait to be free. And I can't wait to have friends. Be my friend. Come over here. Yeah, be my friend. Right? Come over. I'll do this, that, and the third. Yeah. We're friends. I'm so excited about being around people and so tired of being alone. Right? Then I'm willing to say or do whatever I need to so I can get friends. Right? And sometimes people will do that out of desperation, not knowing that they're just fully exposing themselves. Not playing everything, not playing a couple things close to the chest, right? And that could very well be what's going on here. She lived a very sheltered life because of her family's traveling. They moved around a lot, but also because of the family's occupation, the father's occupation, they had to be very, very safe. But as soon as she got that freedom, it was, yes, I want friends. I want people of all kinds. I want to go on dates. I want to be a single woman. But maybe maybe going a little bit over, maybe too much, maybe. But naively being too open about things to the point where she became a target. She became prey, which is very, very sad. I think there's another video in here. Let me just make sure. Okay. There's one other video of the brother, talking about looking at this surveillance footage. I think we're going to take a look at this. Why not? There might be another commercial. Hey, but think about it. You got somebody who is young, naive, maybe the people skills, communication and people skills may not be on point, right? Because they don't know about those things, because they've been so sheltered and so closed off from the rest of the world, they don't know how to act in public. But the only way that you can know or learn how to conduct yourself in public is by being thrown out into the public and just dealing with interaction with people and stuff like that. And I think this one is just I think this is just one of those things. But those two people, the person that was filed, that harassment file was filed against, and also the person that she went on a date with, those two people should be prime suspects right now, and they should be looking into them like crazy. But let's take a listen to what he said about looking at this surveillance footage.
I went to the Walmart with my girlfriend, and we tracked down security at Walmart, which, I mean, it's not obvious where that office is, but we found them, and I sat there and I told them what her routine was, and we nailed down what part of the parking lot she usually parks in, and we looked at all the cameras until I spotted her car. And then once we spotted her car, we nailed it down to a couple of different cameras, and we went through, and we saw the abduction happen. And it was surreal. It was a deep sinking feeling, like my blood had ran cold immediately. And I walked out of that security office, and I got on the phone with dispatch, because on Sunday night I had reported her missing around 11:23 p.m. And I wasn't necessarily taken very seriously, and they didn't file a missing persons report. But on Monday, after I found that footage and I reported an abduction, there was a deputy that came out and viewed the footage with us, and he still wasn't convinced and everything, even though I had told him everything he knew. But police officers, they see a lot of things, and sometimes they can be a little jaded. And
so the video.
Interesting. So one of the officers was sitting there. Interesting. That's interesting.
Video that you saw, which shows the abduction. Walk me through exactly what you saw.
Okay, so the first thing I saw was her car, and then all of a sudden I saw her car leave, and I was like, wait, we need to see what happened. And so we went through and went back to when her car left, and we saw a man coming to the driver's side door, saying or doing something to make her move over. And it's a very grainy video, and you can't see very much detail, but I know my sister's body language, and I know what she looks like when she's scared. Her body language when she's scared, she gets very jerky. You know, she freezes up and gets very, you know, like that. And mom agrees and everything like that. And that's what I saw. Can we silence that?
Interesting. Okay, so she froze up. And he's saying, yeah, I saw it in her body language. I could see that she was terrified. Because there's some people out here that are thinking that maybe this whole thing was planned, that this was choreographed, that this was all mapped out because she wants her freedom or something like that. I mean, I could see somebody going down that route of like, oh, she staged this so she can get away. She just wants to be free and do what she wants any old time. But real talk, why would she react in that way if she knew the whole plan, right? So, you know, I feel like some people who are out here thinking that this is a planned thing and the attacker was a friend and all that, I don't think she would go like that. I think she would just disappear. Why create all this hoopla? I said hoopla. Why would you create all this hoopla if you just want to be gone?
That's what I saw in that video, and it was, you know, low resolution and everything like that. But I don't believe that it was anything that she did willingly or consensually or anything like that.
Was there a physical altercation?
We can't tell. There may have been. We're not sure. And that's why I've been really careful to say that he either said or did something to force her to move over.
Yeah.
I think maybe he threatened her, but he opened her door because I think like we were talking about, her door was probably unlocked. It's also important to note that from that same direction is the direction that we saw the suspect come onto the property at Walmart. It's it's about a half a mile. So it's definitely within walking distance type of thing. So there's a lot of different theories that you can draw from that, and I don't care to speculate publicly.
Yeah. It was reasonable to assume that the suspect was familiar with this area, though, had been there at least once before.
Yeah, and you can see where her car was ditched from I-80, a major freeway. So
right. And was her cell phone found in the car?
No.
You still have not found
not.
her cell phone?
Of course they're going to have they're going to take over her cell phone. Of course.
Do not have her cell phone yet.
And
we don't have her purse.
Yeah, I heard that last night.
We don't have her cell phone. We don't have her purse. We don't have anything that was on her person. We want for nothing except for Naomi right now.
Man, it's a terrifying world that we live out here, y'all. You know, somebody said in the comments, oh, we think that you know, we always believe, like, somebody said this, people need to stop saying that crime doesn't happen in their neighborhood. Crime happens everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Crime happens everywhere. We don't live in a world where the suburbs are safe anymore. Crime now gets to the point where crime is now finding you. You can't hide away from it. It is finding you now. You can go to the most lit area and I'm not talking about lit A, I'm talking about lit, like the most illuminated areas in in your town, and crime can still happen in broad daylight right in front of you. Kids are still getting kidnapped and abducted in broad daylight. They're getting snatched from their strollers in broad daylight, sometimes in the most busiest places. Mother turns around to look at a carton of cereal or something like that. A gallon of milk, turns right back around, baby gone. Seriously. Some people are lucky enough to catch that person with the quickness. There are people out here. There's another video out here of a guy who is actually trying to SA a woman, and if I'm correct, inside of a Walmart. And everyone had to come together and try to detain this guy. Civilians, regular people, tried to stop this guy from taking advantage of this young woman. Real talk. That was broad daylight in a busy place. So it's not just like going to, walking in the most dangerous streets of the world. Nah, man. That don't work anymore. That don't happen anymore. We're talking about these stories like this, and this is happening in a place that probably you wouldn't think crime would happen like this. A kidnapping or an abduction would happen like this. But lo and behold, it's here. It's so sad. Again, I want to show you guys this video. It's not the greatest video because it just shows, it's showing the guy like getting in, like walking around, but it's hard to see the actual goings-ons that happens in the car. It's this angle sucks, but we're gonna go through it one last time. I'm gonna blow this up too. And of course, I'm going to scrub through a little bit. There he is walking around up in the right-hand corner. Because this is where she parked. But if you notice, he's looking for a minute. I know it's small, but you can see, and then that's so strange. It's like he looked into the car and then he just walks away. I don't know why he, unless he was just trying to find. But what sucks is that the footage that they have shown so far is just that. They have not shown the full, like from what I've seen. I have yet to see the full footage of her actually getting, like him actually getting into the car and all that. But from my understanding, her car is up in this area right here. But if you noticed, he kind of walks over and it's like he's looking into the car. And then I'm going to try to bring that back. I know it's like the top corner, but as you can see, he kind of is there, and then he starts walking down. Then he looks. See right there? He looks, stands there for a minute, walks over just a little bit more, like as if he's just trying to see what's going on. Looks, gets a little bit closer, and then walks away. Then he ends up walking down like right about here, right in this, by these bushes in the parking lot. That's the only footage that we have right now. They have yet to show the whole dang thing, which is frustrating. They haven't shown the whole thing. I don't know why they haven't shown the whole thing. They haven't shown the whole thing, y'all. And if anybody has the actual full video of this ish actually going down, holla at your boy. Please send it to me, message me, email it to me. I don't care. I would love to see the full video, but they have not shown the full video, which is very, very strange. One last time, just so you guys can see it. This is the truck. Okay, we talked about it in the other interview, the interview that I had with Tamara Cartwright. But this is the truck that they are looking at right now as we speak. One other thing before I forget. Wait. What the heck? Sorry, guys. Trying to pull up the GoFundMe here. There it is. Boom. All right. Then we also have this right here as well. Their GoFundMe, which obviously has gone beyond the $20,000 goal, but at the same time, boom. There it is. All right. So you can obviously go to her family's GoFundMe account and find whatever you need to find to so you can be able to help this family that is trying to bring their daughter home. But this is what we have so far. This Chevy pickup truck. They say it's possibly black or a dark blue. This is insane, y'all. I'm going to play this one last clip. But real quick, it says at approximately 5 a.m., she left her brother's home. She was filmed at the Chevron garage at 5:03 buying snacks. You know, the surveillance photos. We've seen all the surveillance photos. All right. Then was filmed entering the Walmart parking lot at 5:09. She spent the next 15 minutes on social media speaking with friends in different time zones, as was her habit. At 5:24 a.m., a man approaches the car and says something to her after opening the car door. Whatever he said, it was enough to make her move over. So, brother still does not think that she personally knows the brother, knows the kidnapper. But at the same time, I still feel like she may have known the person. That's what I think. But then again, people have been very people become very engulfed in their phones, engulfed in their social media. Maybe, you know, as she's on her Snapchat, she could have been knee deep in a TikTok scroll. That thing does happen. We've all gone through that. If you're on TikTok, it could be very it could suck you in real quick. So she could have been very enthralled in whatever she was doing, not really looking up. It is 5-something in the morning, so she's probably still groggy, you know, rubbing the sleep out of her eyes, so on and so forth. But at the same time, she didn't look up. She did not look up, and maybe, or she knew this dude. Okay. So interesting. It's very, very interesting. But let's look into this piece here. Here, this last piece. Okay, guys?
I think this person either had personal knowledge or observational knowledge of her routine and what she was like and how aware she was and everything like that. I'm not going to sit here and say that she was careful about anything, but all of those things are being looked at and they're known.
And listen, you know, Naomi is an 18-year-old girl.
Yeah.
This is.
She's only an adult in number.
Yeah.
You know, Naomi was not finished growing and maturing. She was still a kid.
She's 18. I'm sorry. 18 is still young to me. I don't care. She's still 18 years old. Just saying.
She's definitely still a kid, and she required a lot of guidance on some things, and
Yeah.
and she was kind of frankly oblivious to a lot of the things going on around her.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of young people like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of young people that aren't aware of their surroundings, and you know, and everybody thinks, oh well, that'll never happen to me. But
That's true.
if it happened to us,
It can happen to you.
it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Dang.
And finally, this will be my last question. What's your hope now? What's the best case scenario for you? And if you have a message that Naomi could hear, what would it be?
Best case scenario is that this kidnapper, this monster who took Naomi, feels so much pressure because the situation is so much bigger than he thought, that he's going to go to some place and just drop her off in an area where she can get help and be found safely, alive and well.
That's the best thing.
That's the best case scenario.
That's the best thing that can happen for everyone involved here, including the perpetrators.
Yes.
We get Naomi back safe. However that happens, it needs to happen.
It needs to happen.
Because I won't stop. We will not stop until we get there. And I don't care about prosecution. I'm not worried about that.
No.
I'm worried about Naomi. And no matter what, this community, all of us, every private organization I can get in contact with, every volunteer, every single law enforcement professional that I can get in touch with, we will leave no stone unturned until we get Naomi. But as soon as that happens, I'm backing off.
Because our focus has to be on her and keeping her safe and helping her to heal from this horror that she's going through, whatever they're doing to her. We have to cocoon her with love and healing, and that's going to be our 100% focus when we get her back.
100%.
You know, I really do hope that whatever comes of this comes out in a positive way. I'm now seeing that Brian Enton has finally did a special on her on this particular case as well. You know, or at least he's finally posted the interview with Tamara. But at the same time, yeah, you know, I'm praying for him. I'm praying for the family. Like I would pray for every single family out here that loses someone that they love. Right. But yeah, this whole thing is just, it's really hard to talk about. And I can only imagine how hard it is for the family to talk about. This is an ongoing story. This is an ongoing mystery and case that hopefully will get here solved quickly. But you know, as we've been hearing so far, and we're hearing from everybody, there's a lot of possibilities here. There are many avenues we can go down with this particular story. So I'm hoping that they look at those possibilities and not just sit there and go, oh no, he wouldn't do that. You never know if that guy would do that. So just entertain it for 5 minutes, because you never know what other clue you can unearth and uncover. So my thoughts and prayers go out to the family. Real talk. My thoughts and prayers go out to the family. And my thoughts and prayers go out to Naomi. I hope she gets home. I hope she gets home. We need to get her home, period. So by talking about this, by sharing this feed, by taking out some clips, because we got that new feature, taking out some clips from this conversation and reposting this on YouTube, or sorry, not YouTube, Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, Facebook even, please share, right? Tell people about the information that we have just uncovered right now on this show. I appreciate every single last one of y'all for being here. Please do not forget to hit that like button. Send those likes past 150 before you head off. That would really, really mean a lot. All right. And also, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button if you're a first-time watcher of this show. Okay. I really do appreciate it. And again, for those of y'all who are out here trying to throw shade on me covering stories about a woman who happens to be white and she's missing, let me tell you, everyone matters. Every missing person case matters. And I'm doing my best to cover as many stories as I can. I am only one person, and this is only one platform. There are other people out here that are covering stories as well that don't cover both sides or all races that are missing. And I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I cover the stories so that every story can be heard on this platform. Okay? I just want to make that abundantly clear. Make sure you guys hear that 110%. All right? Because I love everybody and I care for everybody. Okay? And I got another story that's even in my neck of the woods. I'm telling you, a missing woman, another Black woman that's missing from my neck of the woods that I'm about to talk about here in the next few shows. So be on the lookout for it. Okay? Because her story matters too. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I appreciate all y'all for being on, chopping it up with me. You guys are amazing. Okay? I appreciate all y'all. Okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lady Justice. And I know you guys are, you guys hear me, but some people like to throw shade because they just got nothing else better to do. So I appreciate Lady Justice. Yes, Pascal, you do a diverse group of missing persons and suspicious deaths. And we love how inclusive you are. Hate is gonna hate. Yep. And potatoes gonna potate as well. They just, they just being jealous. PB jealous. That's all. It's all good. I'll be all right. I'll still wake up tomorrow morning with a smile on my face because I love what I do's. Especially even Liam Neeson, just like Liam Neeson's. Okay. He loves what he does, which is just finding missing people and kicking ass and taking names. Taking 76 is coming out next summer. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being on. Again, hit that like button, crush that subscribe button. I appreciate all y'all. I got to get going. Stay positive out there. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll be on a little bit later on today, so be on the lookout for that. We got some more stories to talk about, more mysteries. I'll see you guys soon. The fakers are going fake. Exactly. Hey, watch this. Much love to you guys. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.